Hi everyone, my name is Caroline. Thanks for joining me today. In today's video, I am setting up the Sonoff Smart Switch TH-16 with a temperature and humidity sensor. Now, why would I need a temperature and humidity sensor, and how does this exactly work? Well, I'll go into all of that in this video. Before we get started, let me do a quick demo / explanation of how the Sonoff with temperature sensor works. Now here's the Sonoff, and here's the temperature sensor right here, and here's a little light I've attached to it. Now in real life you might want to attach a fan to it so that it can cool down a room if it gets above a certain temperature. Now I also have this thermometer here that tells me what temperature it is in this room so that we can kind of compare and see if it works properly or not. Now let me open my app called eWeLink, and I already have this set up here. So you can see that my Sonoff, the name is Temp. You can go into settings and you can change the name right here. Let me show you first how to turn it on and off. Now every smart switch has an on-off button somewhere on the switch. For this one it's right on the top right here. So if you turn it on, then the light comes on. Turn it off, the light goes off. You can do the same thing with your app as well. So if I hit the off button, it comes on. If I hit the on button, it turns off. So it just toggles on and off. Now I've got it set up with IFTTT, if this then that. This turns on, then I get a notification on my IFTTT that it sets my thermostat, my Nest thermostat, to 75 degrees if it's turned on. I go into auto, I touch the auto button, and then if it's above a certain temperature, then it will turn on my Nest. The way the eWeLink works is you have to type in all the temperatures in Celsius. It's 24.5 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to say if it is higher than 24 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to hit OK, then turn it on. And immediately it comes on because it's above 24 degrees Celsius. I've got a notification from IFTTT that my temperature was turned on, and thus my Nest thermostat is now set to 75 degrees. I hope that all makes sense to you. I'm going to go through this full tutorial and show you how I set that up start to finish here. So it is a combination of having a Sonoff TH-16 with the temperature sense, also having an IFTTT account as well. This is something I purchased. I did not receive this for free. I paid for this with my own money, but it does have really good recommendations. And it is a little bit cheaper than what you would spend on a regular smart switch. And it was the cheapest smart switch I could find that had a temperature sensor attached to it. So I'll link to that below. I did purchase this on Amazon. And the first thing I noticed where it differed from the smart switches that I've already installed that I've shown on this channel before is that the smart switch needs power. And this has no power associated with it. So I didn't really know how it was going to be powered up. And it turns out that you don't just need a Sonoff. You need an extension cord or a plug, or you need to be willing to do this on an appliance itself. That's what the manual actually recommends. But doing some research, I found it's most useful just to add it to another plug, and that's how you're going to power this thing. So I'm going to use a 2-prong plug today, but it is rated for a 3-prong. It's really up to you. I'm just going to use the 2-prong, and that's going to be enough to get me a temperature on this smart switch, and also turn on and off this fan. What we're going to do is we just need to know how to line this up. We are going to cut apart this extension cord right here. This is the temperature sensor, so all you have to do is plug it in on the side right here, and that is the temperature sensor. You will need a screwdriver for this because it is locked in by a screw, so I'm going to just go ahead and unscrew that right now, and this should just pop right off. And this is how you hook it up. All right, there we go. So I've got this apart now. And the serrated side is the positive, and then the other side is the negative. And you can tell that by going all the way down here and seeing what side is what side. So right here is the positive plug, and it goes, and I'm following it, and it is the side with the ridge on it. And I do want to strip the wire too. In the spirit of keeping it real with my viewers here, it took me over 30 minutes to get my extension cord wired up into the Sonoff. These tabs are plastic. I had to pull up these little plastic pieces and then jam everything back down again. So I'm going to jam this back down. I've got this wired up per the instructions here, and then you have to put this little piece on top. This is the cosmetic cover, and it has little teeth to hold your extension cord in place. And then I'm going to just put the little final screw on. Now I've got this on tight here. Hopefully you can see that. This is the temperature sensor itself. This is the Sonoff switch, and this was my extension cord, and it is now wired up. You'll see me set this up in the next step with the app. We're going to the Play Store, and we are going to type in eWeLink, and I've already downloaded it. Okay, so I'm going to hit open, but where the open button is where you would download it. Please select a region, USA, and then my email address. Enter verification code, validation code. Okay, I have successfully registered, and now I'm going to log in. Okay, and it's ready for me to pair a device. We're going to take my new Sonoff here, and I'm going to take the plug, and hopefully I've done this correctly, otherwise there will be an explosion, and I will plug it in. And we'll see if this starts working. Press the button for 7 seconds until it blinks 3 times on specifically. Okay. Press plus on the app. I'm going to hit next, and it's connecting to my router here. Okay, and it found a device. It says my device 388. Okay, I think I want to change the name. Fan. That is a name, fan. It says added successfully. Got it. Here is the fan. Okay, so I guess let me plug in my real fan and see if this works. Let's see if I can turn it on. And sure enough, my fan is now on. You can probably hear that here. And now I'm going to turn it off. Okay, and it is a temperature sensor, so I can set it on, off, and then I can set it to manual. So if it's higher than a certain temperature Celsius or lower than a temperature or humidity. Okay, it's all in Celsius. So it says it's 79 degrees right now, which is true. It is pretty hot in here. All the lights going and everything would hit auto. So if it is higher than, let's see, 23, then it's going to turn itself on. In this segment of this video, I'm going to show you how I used IFTTT in conjunction with the Sonoff to set my Nest thermostat to a specific temperature when a specific temperature condition is met. I'm in my IFTTT app now, and I am going to go to my applets, and I'm going to hit the plus button in the top right hand corner. So from the main screen when you launch IFTTT, I selected my applets, which is on the bottom right hand corner. Then in the top right hand corner, I'm going to select the plus button, and then I'm going to create an applet. So if this, then that. So I'm going to touch this, and I'm going to search for services. I'm going to search eWeLink Smart Home right here. And I've got a lot of choices here. I'm going to choose one channel plug turned on or off. And it says which channel plug, temp, that's what I named this plug right here, and turned on. So if it turns on, I'm going to create a trigger. That, and what is it going to do if it is turned on? I'm going to type in Nest, because that is my thermostat. And I do have a video of myself setting up this Nest thermostat on my channel. I will link to it below. Then we can set a temperature range, or we can set a temperature, turn fan on for 15 minutes. So let's do set temperature. So I have a Nest thermostat, my entryway thermostat. I would like to set it to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and it says degrees in Fahrenheit because that's what I'm used to. You can do this in Celsius as well. That's no problem. I'm going to stick to Fahrenheit, create action. So when the temperature gets above 25 degrees Celsius, which is the way I had it set up, then it's going to turn on set my entryway thermostat to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to finish that. I do want to have a app notification on my phone every time it runs. That way I know it ran. I want to save all my changes. Okay. And that's really optional if you want a notification every time it turns on. And there I have it. If this turns on, then set my thermostat to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's get the temperature above 25 degrees Celsius and see if this turns on now. So, there it is. Now it turned on. The light is on, and my thermostat, I did get an app notification. That's how I set up my Sonoff switch with IFTTT to control my Nest thermostat. Now I'm going to toggle this off by pressing the button. And the thermostat is still at 75. I've just turned off the light. Every switch does have an on-off button, so I just toggled it off, and that's how I set it up. Thanks for watching my video on how I set up my Sonoff TH-16 switch with temperature sensor to control my Nest thermostat. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.